Today's episode is brought to you by Musical Theatre Radio's merch store. Looking for that perfect gift for someone or just want to treat yourself to some great musical theater themed merch? Head to musicaltheaterradio.com and click on the All Things Theater button on the homepage and check out all the different designs available. And now, today's interview. Welcome back to another episode of Be Our Guest here on Musical Theater Radio. I am your host, as always, Jean-Paul Jovanoff. If you are looking for a musical to see, today's episode is for you. If you are in North Hollywood, California, from May 16th to the 25th, 2025, head over to the Sherry Theater to check out the Firefly Theatre Group workshop staging of The Brass Teapot. Today, we have a mix of returning guests and newbies to the show, and it's a full house, so let's get it going. So let's welcome Chaz, Ramaa, Zoe, and Sarah to the show. Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
Hi.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. So at the beginning, I always ask for a 30-second bio. So the new people, you can just sit back and listen for a second. We're gonna let the experts do it first. So Ramaa, we're gonna start with you. Who are you in 30 seconds?
Yeah, so I started directing when I was 16 years old and made my first film, which was The Brass Teapot, which I co-wrote with Tim Macy, and have built a career directing commercials, television series, and multiple movies and documentaries. And I also own an advertising agency that helps focus on youth marketing and creates pathways for emerging BIPOC and LGBTQ plus creators.
Sweet. Chaz, you know what you're doing.
Hey,
30 seconds.
my name is 30. Wow. Okay. My name is Chaz Cardigan. I started playing shows and playing music when I was about 10 years old and worked as a kind of a child professional for a lot of years. Moved through the record label system as a singer-songwriter, toured the country a few times, had some great experiences, had some not so great experiences, and then along the way found this great opportunity to jump into composing for musical theater, which is now most of what I do. And right now I'm developing a couple shows, the Brass Teapot being the one that's the farthest along, and the rest are my babies, and I'm protecting them like a papa hen right now.
Well, then you'll have to come back at some point when they're a little more grown up and we can talk about them. So,
I would love to. I have to teach them to fly first.
fair enough. That makes sense. All right, Sarah, let's find out who you are. What role are you playing within the show and a little bit about yourself?
Hi. Okay, I'm Sarah. I'm playing Alice, who is one of the couple who engage with the Brass Teapot. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I grew up doing musical theater from like 8 years old. Ended up going to acting school in Chicago, moved to LA a few years ago to kind of um, be back on the West Coast near my family and branch into film. And I found Firefly Theatre Group a few years ago doing the Seagull with them. And then they just kind of brought me on into the company. It's been such an amazing artistic home and lifelong friends type vibe. And yeah, so now I'm an actor and I produce stuff in LA.
Fantastic. And Zoe, what's your role within the show and who are you?
I'm Zoe Lesser. I'm directing the show, and I'm from LA, and I'm a director working across theater, opera, and immersive experiences. And I've worked in regional theaters, and I co-founded an immersive theater company in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I sort of tackle between those spheres. Yeah.
Very nice. All right, now that we've got to know you, let's talk about the production itself. Chaz, Ramaa, let's start with you guys. What's been going on since the last time we talked? How what have you done with the show to get to the point where there's a production going on?
Well, we came out of NAP just supercharged and had so many great notes to address, and so that experience was really exciting to see it up there. And so we've been addressing the notes from a book standpoint and really like looking at the characters and evaluating what we need to do and so implementing that. So Tim and I have been hard at work, focused on really that story, the characters, and uh, and then of course, I mean really the heavy lifting has been Chaz. So
Well, we're all, it's all heavy lifting, but yeah, we came out of NAMT with a lot of good critique to focus on, and still sort of touching on those things. We are all spread across the country, so there's a lot you can do over Zoom, but also we sort of do our best work when we get to do these in-person writers retreats and really can just focus for a couple of days in person and springboard off of one another. But after NAMT, we started talking, 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 talking. And then I got this amazing new script in my inbox on my birthday, which was also inauguration day. And I was in a cabin in the woods trying to forget about that. And I got this fantastic new script of all these new changes, and then started working on a new score, sort of revamping the score from top to bottom so that we could take it to the next level. And at that same time, in parallel, we were talking about this Firefly production. Right as we were coming out of NAMT, we started um, talking to Sarah and Zoe about what a production might look like. And just because of scheduling and timing, what they've ended up with now is a version that is sort of bespoke and belongs only to them, that exists somewhere between what we did at NAMT
Mhm.
and what we are writing now. So it is kind of like a one-time experience for this version of the show.
Nice. And did you how did this partnership work? Did you guys approach the theater company, or did they approach you?
Well, I'm really lucky that Sarah's one of my best friends, actually, living in LA. And I think sometime last summer when we went to a festival in Chicago, and she was just sort of probing and taking an interest, like, tell me about Steppenwolf, tell me about what you're doing there. Oh my God, tell me everything. 'Cause she used to live in Chicago. She went to college in Chicago. And I think just on like a lark, I was like, you know what? Here's the book. Here's the show as we did it in Chicago. And then I guess that would have been last July. And through the last 9, 10 months, the conversation started evolving into like, hey, Firefly may be really able to do a version of this show. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. What if we did this? What if we did this? And it just emerged super organically. And by the time we started the rewrite, I think it was just kind of a no-brainer.
Nice. That's a good thing for all the listeners who are writers. Just give your work to somebody, and then maybe they'll put it on. You never know, right?
Yeah,
You never know who knows who
just
and doing what.
give it a round. Who knows?
Exactly. So, Zoe, I'd like to jump to you as a director. What drew you to the show, and what made you come on board in the first place?
Yeah, I would say the music is spectacular and moving and immediately emotionally effusive. And that was my first sort of like point of entry. And then I also am just so drawn to the combination of like um, you know, sitcom comedic one-on-one personal dialogue and also the giant magical realism surrounding it that is like its container. The sort of like juxtaposition of the everyday navigating your relationship, navigating your job, late stage capitalism, and also like just living within the legacy of all who came before you and seeing that like realized in such an excitingly theatrical way was really exciting to me because it's I think it's that combination of the ordinary and the extraordinary, which is why that's why I like to go to the theater to sort of see how what I know and do every day interacts with powers that be and what's bigger than us. Yeah.
Nice. Sarah, let's jump to you. Josh said you read the script. What made you want to bring it to the company?
Yeah, well, I just hearing Chaz talk about the show had me really interested in it to start with because I like things living in the supernatural, and I like strong female characters who maybe aren't inherently likable, but as a human person that can be a whole person. And I was really excited about the idea of maybe getting to play Alice one day. And Chaz had seen a show I'd been in at the theater company a few years ago and really liked it. And so knowing that he trusted us and appreciated us and thought it was a safe space to kind of incubate it was really exciting. And my friends at the company were all just like stoked about it. It's a way bigger show than we've ever embarked on before, which is a really cool challenge as a growing company. We only began like 4 or 5 years ago. And so every year is just a little bit bigger. And this feels like a really cool grand leap into a new space of like a new musical and a big musical at that. So yeah, and the music. I'm such a huge fan of Chaz's as an individual recording artist, so I knew I would love the music, but getting to hear him in a whole new space was like very exciting as an artist and very like proud moment as a friend.
I'm gonna stick with you for a second, Sarah. As an actor, we bring some of ourselves into the character, but sometimes the character imprints upon us. I'd love to hear what you have taken from this during the rehearsal process of your character.
I've learned like so much from her. I really have. I am really interested in her drive and how when she wants something, she goes for it and she doesn't let anything get in her way. And even if it's something that other people see as extreme or, maybe might be morally gray, she knows what she wants and she's not going to abandon herself to not get it. I think it was really interesting. I've talked to Zoe a little bit about this, but finding like I don't maybe connect to material goods in the same way Alice does, but there are things in my life that I desperately pine for that I will be crazy to get. And being able to like explore those parts of myself through her story has been a very, very cool experience for me. And I also just like exploring a full character and she's so rich and I think that gives me a lot of permission to live in the parts of myself I like and the parts of myself I don't like just in my daily life.
Chaz and Ramaa, I'd love to hear from you. Has there been a moment that has surprised you or pleased you? Once the director and actor get a hold of a piece, it blossoms and it changes. Is there anything that you've seen and went, they get it, or you were surprised by how they interpret it, or anything like that? I'd love to hear your response to that.
The whole
Yeah,
thing. Oh, go ahead, Chaz. Go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 you, Rama, please.
I mean, I think the whole thing, I mean, honestly, just seeing them take this work and make it their own and I think understand things. When you write a character, it's so in your head and you're doing it based on your own like understanding, which is sort of limited actually, because like if we were to like go really esoteric, you could say that the character really only knows itself the best. We create it and we guesstimate it, but then it's much bigger. The thing that's just magical is that they've seen really, I think they brought more authenticity, um, and more of a grounded point of view. Um, and I do think it in a way, what I really appreciate is that it's sort of bridging the space between what is happening in the film, which was trying to go towards a more grounded and authentic realism, magical realism. And I see that they've at every step been doing that in the play, in the musical version, which is hard because on another hand, there was like this place where we kind of wanted it to become a bigger spectacle. I like that what they're saying that this is the bigger spectacle for them at the, in terms of the theater. But I do really love how it's feeling grounded. I haven't seen rehearsals and so to be honest with you, I guess I'll come back and we'll tell you what, the experience was, but that's what my feeling is. What do you think, Chaz?
Yeah, being in the rehearsals and sort of like coaching actors through these moments in the songs. I'm always amazed with every production we've gotten to do of this show, this is the third that we've gotten to do, which is every one is a blessing, right? And they're all so different. And so different in resource and so different in like the faculty and what they're able to manage. I am always surprised by how everybody approaches the comedy because the tone of the show, I think, first off, it's very funny, but only if the people reading it understand why it's funny. And we are so lucky that this cast get it and they're selling it. And every time I've been able to be in a rehearsal, I'm surprised, A, that the book moments are as funny as they're supposed to be, but also that Sarah specifically is finding this comedy in Alice that I don't even know that I intended when I wrote songs for her. Like when she's singing the songs, she's unlocking a level of Alice's comedy that's so rooted in her humanity, that's so rooted in who she is as a person in the text, that I'm like, of course that's there. I meant that. Of course I did. Um, and I'm thinking of a moment last night we did a music rehearsal, and there's this moment in it's kind of a funny song anyway. This song called "Let's Kill Arnie" that happens in Act Two, and um, Alice and John are having a conversation, and the lyric Alice says is, "You said it in the kitchen, I'll kill him." John, as an offhand comment, a few moments before had said like, "Oh, I'll kill him," as like a one-off thing. And the way I write it in the book is a little more like just rhythmic and like, "You said it in the kitchen, I'll kill him," is more like straightforward, and Sarah has just like understood the text enough to be like, "You said it in the kitchen, I'll kill him." It's like, I don't know what it is, but it was perfect. It really did like unlock her a little more for me and make me go, yeah, that's Alice.
Yeah. It makes such a difference when it's on. And once it gets out of your head and into the mouths and the heads of somebody else, such a difference. I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the blessing of getting to see people that aren't you and, 10 bodies in a room
Yeah.
say the words you've put on a page, is to rediscover, like, oh my God, Rama just said this beautiful thing, the esoteric thing that she just said a few minutes ago, like, oh, the character best knows itself, or however I paraphrase that, but however you said that is so true, because we can write and write and write, but ultimately the actor is going to unlock something new in the character, and seeing it come out of them, you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know I wrote that.
Zoe, I'd love to jump to you. Is there a song or moment in the show that touches you? It doesn't have to be your favorite or something, but is there something in it that you just go, yes, that embraces you?
Wow, what a question. Oh my goodness. I mean, I feel like this is sort of a cop-out answer, but like cheap magic at the end, when we have gotten to the end of our journey
Mhm.
and Dr. L reemerges with a song that mirrors where we started and starts listing out different kinds of deep love. And the way we've staged it is everyone's on stage and is like demonstrating. We get to like see these relationships as Dr. L sings it in real time. That always moves me. And also the music at the end reprises themes from the rest of the sh sorry. Oh my God. A spam call happened. Um, uh, yeah, the ending music reprises themes from the rest of the show, so it all is like comes together in a beautiful play, in a beautiful like package, and we see everyone together singing it. It moves me every time.
Very nice. Sarah, for yourself as well, and it doesn't even have to be your character. The moment in the show that you just went, yeah.
A moment is harder. I was like preparing when you said song. I was like,
Or a
well,
song, it's up to you.
well, no, but I love the moment question more. Um, I mean, my favorite part to do is this song "Hello Alice" at the end because it's just like the most quintessential 11 o'clock number. It's so fun to, it's a blast. So I really enjoy that. But as a moment, it's got to be something with John and Alice. Um, because it's just their love. I think that's any little moment that I'm the most moved by is like their their love with each other and their commitment to each other, and especially John's towards Alice, I think.
Well, congratulations to all of you on the writing and the directing and being in and the production itself. It's fantastic. I'm so happy because I've got to interview you guys a few times now, from NAMT, and then after, and I love seeing where this is going. Before we get to how do they get tickets, give us a 30-second elevator pitch of what's the show about. So if somebody comes up and goes, I want to buy tickets, but I don't know what it's about, tell us what it is. I don't know who of you wants to take care of this, but
Zoe.
That's so funny. I was about to say Chaz. No, but I'll do it. The Brass Teapot is a uh campy drama about a couple that's in love and stumble across a magic teapot that promises them that spouts money, endless fortune, when they cause pain. And the show is about how far they're willing to go to be comfortable. To the text says break even, but to live the lives they want. And what they're willing to sacrifice, and how they fit into a history of political figures and societies who have dealt with this question before them.
very nice. So now the important question, how do people get tickets? The websites, the socials, all that important stuff.
Yeah. Online, you can go to www.fireflytheatregroup.com or .org. Just Google Firefly Theatre Group. And the tickets are on the website for the Brass Teapot. Yeah, we have 2 weekends. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows at 8 p.m. each of them. And we're also on social media at Firefly Theatre Group. Yeah. You can walk up and buy tickets day of. It's gonna be good.
Very nice. Well, if I wasn't, 4,500 kilometers and an international border away, I would be going to see the show, but it's a little difficult for me. But congratulations. Like I said, this is fantastic. I love watching new shows. It's step by step, move on to the next step and the next step and the next step. And I'm excited to see where it goes beyond this. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you all for coming on today and telling myself and the rest of the listeners all about your shows.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Awesome.
having us. This was a blast.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jean Paul. Great to meet you.
No problem. All right. So we were just speaking with Chaz and Ramaa and Sarah and Zoe, all part of the upcoming production of the Brass Teapot, which is happening May 16th to the 25th, 2025 in North Hollywood, California. So if you are down that way, head over to the Sherry Theater to check it out and go to all the websites that were mentioned to learn all about it. And most importantly, go support new works, because it's so important to go and give them the feedback and experience it, because as I've always said, today's new shows are tomorrow's classics. So get to know them now before everybody else goes, oh, I love this show. And you'll be like, yeah, I know. So thank you, everybody, for coming on today. And tune in next week as we speak with another guest or guests about their life, love, and passion that is musical theater. I am your host, as always, Jean-Paul Jovanoff. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.